you check the children. Your little match sometimes.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Sometimes. That is what
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Horror Show. I'm Cecil Laird.
Robert the Wolfman.
We are here to do another brand new movie review. I don't know if this is just theatrical for a little bit and then VOD, or if it's releasing.
I'm not entirely sure.
Widely,
I think it might be doing a limited theatrical release at least.
I think that might be the case
Release
as well.
at least.
So the new movie that we are talking about this week is none other than Studio 666. This is a movie that is story created by Dave Grohl and stars Dave Grohl and the Foo Fighters.
Yep.
And it's an interesting movie. Let's get into this review like we get into all of them, talk about the story, our overall thoughts first, then the story, the acting, the effects, all that good stuff in turn. Overall thoughts, I enjoyed the movie well enough. There were some funny parts. There was lots of good gore, actually. And some pretty good effects. Interesting little one location movie. I really do tend to appreciate those. Those were very popular during the pandemic because of the ease of it compared to multiple location shoots. So I think they very much succeeded for what they were setting out to do. Does that mean it's a groundbreaking film? By no stretch of the imagination is it that. It is just a fun, silly, gory good time.
Absolutely. No, I definitely had a lot of fun with this movie. Again, yeah, it's not a perfect movie, but it's the Foo Fighters making a basically like a horror rock movie. And we were talking about, it's one location, but they utilize multiple points of this location really well, especially with how just the creepiness of the vine structure and things like that. It looked really good. I loved the music in this. The gore was awesome. I didn't have any issues with any of the effects. I thought everyone did great, and I would highly recommend people checking this out, especially if you're a fan of the Foo Fighters.
So getting into the story of the movie, this is about the Foo Fighters, and it's about them trying to create their 10th album. Jeff Garlin plays their producer, who is encouraging them to get the album done because apparently they've been waiting a good while for it. And Dave just says he doesn't want to use any of the studios they know because the sound is too familiar. And so Jeff Garlin says he has the perfect place for them to record their next album. This perfect place just so happens to be a house in LA that happens to be the site of a grisly murder many years prior. So they go to this place without knowing that, and they're Dave is very, very serious about getting it done. Because while he's there, he slowly starts to be sort of wooed by the spirits that are haunting the place, so to speak. And then he starts to work for that side a little bit. So it's shown in the trailer.
It's shown in the trailer.
That's why I'm okay with saying
he
it.
becomes possessed and everything.
Yeah.
But it's funny though, kind of how it happens.
It definitely is something that's going to be more enjoyed by people that have been in bands, are in bands, know people in bands, or have schlepped equipment for people in bands.
Or honestly though, even if you're just a fan of rock music and everything,
that's very
and just
true.
that genre, especially again, going back, if you're a fan of the Foo Fighters, I don't see why people would be sleeping on this.
Yeah, for sure. So that's the crux of the story, and can they break him out of his possession safely? And then chaos obviously ensues.
Lots.
And I do mean like chaos, and there are stakes in this movie, so they don't dance around stuff, which is nice. We're not going to spoil anything, but they don't dance around stuff, and they utilize the gore to great effect.
Was that an Olive Garden joke for when he ordered all those steaks?
No, but it works. Sure.
There were a lot of steaks involved.
There were indeed. Yep. So the story of it is fine. It's very compact. It's some people might consider it light on story, but honestly, a good horror comedy like this doesn't really need much more than the setup,
No.
and then you just watch the pawns sort of play themselves out.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Like, this movie is not a very deep movie. The story's semi-shallow, but it's just deep enough to where there's a nice little backstory to keep you engaged through what's going on.
Yeah.
The element of recording a new album and then the occult stuff that happens. It was a fun, cool little idea that he had, and I'm glad to see that he was able to execute it and put it up on screen.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Let's get into the acting.
Yeah. So, okay, again, you have a band...
It's a cast of 9 people
you
total,
have a
and 6 of them are the band.
That's trying to be actors and everything. Your acting isn't going to be perfect in this, and it does show at times, but it doesn't take you out of the movie.
Right.
It actually kind of makes it a little bit more funnier, especially with you have like Whitney Cummings in there, you have Will Forte,
Yep.
and
The
what's
grouper.
yeah, what's nice though is how fucking Kerry King from Slayer and everything, like he's
And
in
and,
that,
and the
like-
girl from American Horror Story that's been in a number of seasons.
Yeah, you mentioned that earlier.
Everyone in the movie,
But they don't play
is someone
themselves
in
except
some way,
for the
shape,
Foo
or form.
Fighters.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
everyone plays different characters except for the Foo Fighters.
But they all know who the Foo Fighters are.
Exactly.
Right? It's,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
that sort of
Yeah.
situation.
It's an alternate universe, but it's a meta universe.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a metaverse.
There you go.
So current. But yeah, so I mean, you could call it a shortcoming, but like Robert said, it's not something that takes you out of the movie. It's just you can tell it's like this guy's a musician.
Yeah, and they're friends making a movie. They're having
Yeah.
fun, and you can tell that they're having fun with it.
Exactly. And some of them have more fun than others. I was a big fan of Rami.
Oh my god,
Romeo was
dude,
hilarious.
Like he was funny, but man, he
His
was just
chest hair
he
cut
was just
into the
so
heart.
sleazy.
It's
I
chest hair in the heart was
lost my
hilarious.
shit though, but at the same time, like he's wearing like the little speedo. He's like,
The Speedo.
is that mine? Yeah, man, I borrowed
it.
Like what the fuck?
That's when you go keep it.
I just really hope that guy was just playing an over-exaggerated version of himself.
I have to
hope so.
imagine
I
so.
hope so.
I wonder if
Man.
it'd be so funny if he's like the mousy member of the band and
that
Dave
would-
just wrote that part
Yeah,
that way for
I would
him.
really hope that's the case.
Well, Dave didn't technically write it. He came up with the story and then a
Ye-
different person
yeah.
got script credit.
Jeff Budler, I think it was.
Something like that.
yeah.
So that is what it is, but the supporting cast is all there.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Garlin does a good job. Whitney Cummings does a funny job.
Oh yeah, she's pretty funny.
Yeah, and then the girl from American Horror Story. I'm sorry, I wish I knew her name off the top of my head. I don't. And then the Foo Fighters did well for what they had to do as well. Like, they had the most heavy lifting to do. Dave does shine, I think, as the best
yeah,
of
most
the
definitely.
band. But, you know,
Yeah.
they're still enjoyable enough because, you know what's funny is the awkwardness of their acting also kind of just came off as like maybe they're just awkward dudes because, you know, bands are consistent of many different types of people.
Yep. Well, what's
So-
funny too is like even if you saw just any one of them walking down the street, you didn't know who the Foo Fighters
I
was.
would not have known
You've been
any of
like,
them.
you don't play in a band. You're like, you work
Well,
at a bank.
I don't know about that. No, maybe one or two of them.
Well, yeah, a couple of them. Well, yeah, definitely.
He,
He looked like the most odd man out and everything. But
but
again,
no, Rami looked like he was in a band. And
well, yeah, he is some sort of band.
the other guys look like they were in a band, but they became dads.
Yeah, it's like what Faith No More looks like now.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah,
Fair
yeah.
enough.
I'm not knocking on Faith No More. I love the shit out of that band.
So the effects. The
Yep.
effects were a mixture of practical effects and CG effects. And some were CG
Yeah.
augmented practical effects.
Exactly. I was just about to say like the little demon things that we get.
Yeah.
I like the touch to that, like the CG smoke, but is also practical.
They had a not dissimilar look. They were more humanoid, of course, but a not dissimilar look from the creatures in Attack the Block. Right? The pure black, like,
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
and all
Where
you
you
see are
basically
the
the
teeth.
mouth and the eyes
Yeah.
kind of thing.
I don't
no-
even think you see the eyes. It's just the fluorescent
Was it?
teeth. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But in the demon's case here, it was the eyes.
Yeah.
Right. So.
But I really liked how they did it and everything. And each one,
And when
each
they
one had
opened
a
their
different
mouth, it
look.
looked creepy.
It did.
Dude.
There was like multiple layers.
Yeah,
looked like.
honestly, what it looks like, their mouth looked like what Carnage's mouth should have looked like, you know, with the strands of black with red behind it.
That's
you know
another
what
one
I
I
mean?
still need to get through and I need to watch.
You don't need to be in a rush to watch that one, trust me. So,
Damn, really?
dude, they fucked up Carnage so bad, but nonetheless, the other effects,
Sad boys.
the actual practical effects are really cool, man.
Yeah, the kills
Really
in
well
this
done.
were great.
Tons of, like, buckets of blood a lot of
Absolutely.
times.
And what's the nice thing too is again, like they didn't overly go heavy-handed with the CG. It was just CG
Right.
enhancements, especially for the gore that we got.
Yeah. Well, and there were a
It
lot
was
of
like
practical,
90, it was like
non-CG
ni-
practical
Well, yeah, it was
effects,
like
too.
90% practical effects.
Yeah.
But with like there was a couple like the chainsaw scene that was a little enhanced and stuff
Right,
like
there
that.
wasn't like a CG character or
No,
anything
no,
like
no,
that.
no,
Just
no.
CG enhancements, CG smoke, and things like
Yep.
that at times. I don't even
But
think
it
I
was
noticed
done
any like
tastefully.
CG blood squirts. I don't think there
I
was any
didn't
of
notice
that.
that either.
Because they had enough blood that they were shooting that practical
yeah.
for sure. But yeah, there's tons of gore. I mean, there is an amazing chainsaw kill.
That was one of my more favorite ones.
That was
Even like
rad,
you
dude.
kind of saw it coming and everything like that.
They actually put that
But,
in the Red Band trailer. They put that in the Red Band trailer, which I didn't watch, but someone had it as a thumbnail where the chainsaw was first coming through. And I was like, what is that? And I couldn't recognize who it was,
Well,
so it didn't
yeah.
get ruined for me.
Yeah.
But when it happened, I was like, damn, dude, that is hard.
But it was a good kill.
And it was that was, you know, the action of it was CG.
It was a money shot.
But the money shot afterwards was practical. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
Yeah.
Guys, it's really, again, the people that like the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie for the kills should watch Studio 666
Absolutely.
for the kills.
And like again with us, even with the new Texas Chainsaw, that was our highlight of that.
Yeah.
Like,
And this is the same
kills
thing.
and the gore.
Yeah. This is a slightly more enjoyable story with more enjoyable characters.
Truth.
But the gore was on par, if not a little crazier.
But can't forget about the music.
Yeah, by all means.
The
Let's
music
not forget
was
about that.
kick ass.
Yeah.
And it was some heavy metal riffs.
Yeah, it's funny. They're
liked it.
trying to put together the 10th album, and the 10th album is basically just ending up being one song that keeps getting longer and longer and longer and longer.
Yeah, but it's
So I like
it's
that.
cool like how they did that because it tied back into that whole occult stuff.
Yeah. Mhm.
But it was even funny too, like in the beginning when the girl's sitting there, he's like strumming on the guitar. He's like, "Hey, you know, I came up with some new riffs." Da da da. He's like, "It's Everlong."
Yeah.
You know, he's like naming off.
And then he
like,
does another riff, and it's like,
Yeah. He's like my own
and
hero.
they're
Like,
yeah, you came up with that hit song 20 years ago.
He's like, damn it.
It's like the well is dry.
Yeah. But that's the thing though, it's like they go through that all the time. Every writer goes through writer's block. Doesn't matter from screenplays to music to even just scores.
And one line they used, it really got me, was Pearl Jam High Five.
That I
shit
lost
made me
it. What's
laugh
funny too
so
is like
hard.
because
Because that's the cover of 10, right?
it is, and
Yeah.
they synced it up perfectly. Because like all of them except for one, he had his
Oh,
fist out,
I didn't even
just like the
notice.
album. It was great.
I didn't even notice
man.
that.
Yeah, they knew
Dude,
it.
that's a deep cuts grunge joke.
It is.
Man.
It
Like,
is.
I love that.
Because again,
People born after the 2000s might
yeah,
not get
and
it
like
unless
for
they
those
got
that might
into
not
it.
be aware, Dave Grohl, former drummer of Nirvana.
Mhm.
If you don't know, I'm sure everybody knows.
Nirvana and Pearl Jam basically ushered in, you know, the popularity of the grunge movement. I'm
Well,
not saying they were first.
Can't forget Alice in Chains.
I'm not saying they were first, but yeah, no, that was basically the grunge trio
Yeah, oh,
that really
absolutely. Oh,
fucking
yeah.
went crazy. And then Foo Fighters came after, that was,
Yep.
you know, a little more pop rock, but still very much rock and roll.
Oh yeah. Dave Grohl's
This
Dave
seemed
Grohl's
like heavier.
always.
The music in this seemed heavier than typical Foo Fighters.
Oh,
stuff to me,
absolutely. Yeah. The Foo Fighters are more on like the.
But this was
be like
different
the
music,
grunge rock kind
Yeah.
of.
Yeah, they're on the borderline. There.
Yeah, party rock at times and everything. Honestly, though.
Yeah, a little bit. So, yeah, the movie in and of itself is an enjoyable thing. It's not going to knock your socks off. It's not going to win any Oscars, but it's a lot of fun for genre fans,
Yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely.
Genre fans and music fans, especially rock and roll fans.
Yep.
So, definitely worth your time. I don't know that you need to run out to the theater to see it, but I wouldn't advise against it unless if you don't feel safe going out in the
support
public
your artists,
right now.
man.
Yeah, if you don't feel safe out there, then don't. But otherwise, I would, you know, say go for it. I would say go for the matinee price though.
Probably, yeah, but especially too, like with the sound quality that they have at this theaters,
Yes.
the music in this, that's gonna slap.
Yeah. If you can find a Dolby screen that is willing to play
Yeah.
this, then give it a try. But I doubt they'd put this on a Dolby screen.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know. Maybe for a week.
Yeah.
So that's going to do it for our review of Studio 666, you guys. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you to all of our patrons for supporting the channel the way that you do. The link to that is in the description box if you want to tell us movies to review and stuff like that. Rather than go through the subscribe and all that stuff, I'm going to say, why don't you watch another video?
Hell
We've
yeah.
done a lot of reviews recently. Go check out our thoughts on the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Not many people watched our review on Moonfall. That's a silly enough movie that
Hey.
our review, I put production quality into that review. There's a rotating globe behind us. Go watch that review.
Go check out our Cursed review. We have our Jurassic
Cursed.
World coming out and everything like that.
Yep,
we
did
have our
trailer
Nope review.
reaction
Like
for that and Nope.
we
Yep,
got
exactly.
we got so much stuff out there. Go check it out.
Lots of good stuff to watch,
But
guys.
don't forget, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell so you can keep up to date with all of our beautiful faces.
And remember, guys, stay scared.